Hi, Balance Beauties, and welcome back to Balance Motherhood. So, today I wanted to do one of the subjects that was suggested by one of my subscribers. Her name is LaRose5028, and I'm going to insert her comment here, or at least part of it, because she suggested three different video topics. So, thank you so much for suggesting them. I am going to get to them, and this is the very first one I'm going to start with. If you have any suggestions on video topics, I always suggest that either you put them in the comment section or you can email me at gwendolynray@outlook.com. So I'll leave my email in the description section. So why does somebody's card just start going off as soon as I want to start recording? Thanks a lot. Okay, now that the alarm has stopped, we can keep going. So her topic suggestion was, I'm just going to read what she put in her comment. So her comment was tips on how to make sure all children feel valuable. Too often you hear about people talk about how it was super obvious what sibling was the favorite. And I think this is actually a really good topic to talk about because I can say I am pretty good at doing this. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about some things that I personally do, some suggestions, and some things I have talked to other moms about, and they gave me some suggestions too. So, the first thing that you can do, and this actually I would say is the top number one suggestion, is that you can give each one of your children their own personal time. And basically, that would be for you to take out time that is specifically for each child. So, you already know my channel is about balance, and that's because I'm pretty good at doing it, especially with my children. So, one of the things that I do is I like to schedule one on one time with each one of my children. I'll go to one of my kids individually and I'll just ask them, I'll come to the person and be like, I'm gonna just use my son Ezekiel for an example. It's my middle son. Ezekiel, what do you want to do this weekend? So I'm going to be going out, and I know that you want to get out the house and you want to do something without your brothers, but what would you want to do? And he'll give a clear answer. Normally, kids have something in the back of their mind that they've been wanting to do for a while, so they'll just blurt it out to you. Or if they need time to think about it, just let them know. Listen, if you can't think of anything right now, baby, don't worry about it. Let me know after dinner. And it's just something easy for you to not have to come up with it on your own. But as soon as they give that suggestion, you make time for that child. Another way that I like to do it is instead of doing something so big and grandiose, like taking them out on a trip or, something like that, you don't have to do that. You can honestly just spend 10 to 15 minutes with each one of your kids. The easiest way to do it is to take time out during the day. So, like for me, I don't have a 9 to 5. So, in between me editing and posting, I'll just walk up to one of my children and start having a conversation. Something that simple is a way for them to feel special in that moment. When you are speaking to them directly, they feel like they are noticed. Another way I like to make my kids feel valuable is that in the moment, I normally do it in that moment specifically, but I like to speak about their strengths. So it's like, okay, let me give you an example. So let's say I'm sitting at the dining room table, and at my house, dining room table is the everything table. Okay. Once your kids grow up in their adolescence, the dining room table is for everything. It's for homework, it's for dinner, it's for breakfast, it's for hobbies, it's for game night, it's for chit chatting, it's for everything. So, one of the ways that I like to do it is that if I see my child doing something and I know this is one of their strengths, this is one of the things they really love doing, I'll just walk up behind them, touch them on the shoulder, and I'm going to just use Eli as an example. I'll touch Eli's shoulder. Just the other day, he was doing something awesome. So I'll touch his shoulder. I'll be like, Eli, you are doing so well. I love that you're so creative. So Eli is very good at taking things. Is he crying? Oh, I'm sorry. I know you hear my kids in the background. I thought he was crying. Goodness. They're just playing. But I tapped him on the shoulder and I'm like, Eli, you are so creative. And one of the things that he does is that he likes to take cardboard or he'll take things from the recycling bin and he'll take them and mold them into something else. He'll build something that he's been thinking about making for himself or for one of our pets or for even me. Sometimes he makes me things from scratch. But one of the things he's really good at is he loves to reduce, reuse, and recycle. That is one of his strengths I would give to him. So he's not really a wasteful child. He loves to use things and recreate them into something else. And in that moment, I will make sure that I point it out to him. So that's one of the things that you can do to make your children feel valuable in that moment. The best time to also do it is in front of your other children. Do not only do it for one child. Always make sure that you point out the strengths of each one of your children. It does not have to be all in the same moment, but it needs to be a even distribution. Sometimes we, just as humans, we may think one thing is more important than the other, but honestly, it does not matter. Whatever your child's strength is, whether it's small or something that took them a long time to learn, always speak to their strengths. The next thing that I like to do with my boys is that I like to involve them in big decisions, like something that's going to affect everybody in the household. And I do that, I try to do it in a rotation where I'll sit back and I'll think of what was the last child I asked about, what do you want to eat this week for dinner or something like that. I'll take the time out to think about what was the last child and then I'll pick a different child in my mind. And then I'll go up to them in front of all my other children. Sometimes it's by themselves. And I'll ask them, Emmanuel, what do you think we should eat this week for dinner? Because honestly, I really can't come up with anything and I don't want to keep making the same thing. But if it's something that y'all really like, let me know what it is. Like, what do you want to pick? And he'll decide exactly what he wants. And the good part about it is that not only are you making sure your child feels like they have an input on the household, in that moment, it's also helping you. It's a way to be able to delegate. And I always preach about delegating because, it can be a lot of work on us as moms when we have to make every single decision in the household. And don't get me wrong, fathers do help out a lot when it comes to decision making. But at the end of the day, you are probably going to be the one that's in charge of the household. Like, if you really think about it. So, in that moment, it's a good way to make them feel valuable by doing that. It's helping you and it's also giving them that chance to feel important. Right now, I'm in the middle of deciding what color I'm going to repaint our house because our walls really do need to be repainted. But I decided to ask my kids what color we should paint the walls. Now, this is when you have to be creative in your questions and what you ask them because you don't want them to say purple. Okay, so what I did is I gave them two choices. So I let them pick between two different colors, and the one that they picked is the one that I wanted to pick as well. So sometimes your child may pick something that you were already thinking about, which is really awesome because it's like y'all are on the same wavelength. You kind of think alike. So make sure you involve them in big decisions because it does make them feel very important. Another thing I like to do with my children to make sure that there is a balance in my household with like attention and things like that and making them feel valuable is that I like to respect their individual pace. And what I mean by that is each one of my children have hit milestones at different ages and different phases. They just have. And with every single one of your children, that is exactly how it's going to be. And it's nothing that you can do to make it turn out in a specific way, the way that you want it to be. So you have to go with the flow. But one of the things I like to do is, and I think this may be like a character trait for me as a Pisces, is that I'm very empathetic. And it's one of the things where it can be a positive and it could be a negative. But in motherhood, it's very, very positive, okay? Because a lot of children need affirmation. So, one of the things I like to do with, especially my middle son, Ezekiel, he actually struggles with reading. And that's one of the things that my other two sons have not struggled with. And my youngest son has struggled with reading, but he's really gotten the hang of it. And I'm saying this here on this video because he's not around. So, don't go back telling my child what I said, okay? I'm gonna have to get with y'all. But even though my youngest son is younger than my middle son, he progressed faster when it came to reading, is what I'm going to say. And why are they so loud? Sorry about that. But they're playing Beyblades right now, and I sometimes they get loud. I just tell them to calm down. I don't want to be upset with them, telling them off and stuff like that. Just tell them to calm down. Anyway, so yeah, one of the things I've heard parents say is like they'll compare their children to the other child in front of them. And that is a very bad parenting trait that a lot of parents have to stop doing. Because when you do that in front of your kids, you give them low self-esteem. So one of the things that I make sure that I'm conscious of when I'm speaking about him when it comes to reading is that I don't say things like, why can't you be like your brother? Why can't you read as fast as him? Or why can't you write as fast as him? Things like that. I do not sit and compare them to, because each child is different and you have to make sure that you are not making it seem like because they're a little slower at this thing, they're not as good as the other child. And as a parent, that's a very important job for you to be able to make sure that you can maintain, because that can be one of the problems that show up later on, where one child will feel like you treat the other child better than them, or you put this child on a higher pedestal than all the other children. You have a favorite. That is one of the ways that can happen. So you have to be very mindful with your words with your children, because you can really hurt their self-esteem. And a lot of trauma in adults come from childhood. And it's not that you can control every single thing. I 100% understand that you can't. But there are things that you can say to your child that can lift them up, but can also tear them down. And that is I would say this is honestly, I said the first one was the most important. I think this is the most important thing, is that you need to respect their individual pace. One thing I like to do with my children, and I believe that this is something that can be easily overlooked, is that I make sure I give all my children physical touch and eye contact. And if I give one that, I give it to all of them. I give it to all of them. So one of the ways that I like to do that is, my example would be at night. So I'm going to be honest, okay? I am sometimes just doing too much. Okay. If you can relate, okay, click the like button, because sometimes I'm just doing too much. Okay. And I will pass out. Okay. The night has come, and after the kids have gotten their showers, I've gotten my shower. I have gone to lay down and watch a movie. I say in quotes because the movie is now watching me. And I'm asleep for the night. Okay. And when I do that, I am not able to give my kids their good nights. But on my good days, okay, which is most nights, okay, I am able to go to my children, send them to bed at a reasonable time, and I go in their room and I give all of them a hug, a kiss, and I tell them how much I love them in that moment. My 9-year-old, my 11-year-old, and my 17-year-old, I do not care that he is a teen. He is still my child, and I still love him very much. And I want to make sure that that is known in front of his brothers as well. So I make sure that I give that to them, because that is one of the ways where one child will feel like, you don't love me as much as you love them. because you don't even hug me. You don't even kiss me as much as you kiss them, or you don't give me that quality time. I need all my children to know that they are loved. And the best way to do that, the easiest way to do that, is to just kiss them, is to hug them, to touch them. Whether you're touching their shoulder, holding their hand, whether you're looking them in the eye, smiling at them. They really need that from you. So those are all of my tips, LaRose. I really hope that you liked this video and that this was helpful for you. And also the rest of the Balanced Beauties. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any more, like I said, video suggestions, you can leave them here in the comment section and I'll make sure I get to them. And if you need to, you can email me if it's like more of a personal thing and you want the topic to be covered anonymously. You can email me at gwendolynray@outlook.com. And like I said, I'll leave that in the description section as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. And don't forget that balance is possible for every mom. Bye.